Hello and welcome to Business Incorporated, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. On the show today, IMF projects Sierra Leone's economy to slow down to 5.6% in 2017. South Africa Airways gets a 3 billion rand to pay Citibank debt. Plus, on commodities, Cote d'Ivoire sets cocoa farmer price at 700 CFA per kilogram for 2017-2018 main crop season. We get started now with the markets, and here in Nigeria, the markets are closed to mark the country's 57 years of independence. However, on Friday, the index rose marginally by 0.03%. In South Africa, the JSE was trading up 0.58% at intraday, while the Egypt stock market was up 0.84%. The Nairobi Stock Exchange closed in the red on Friday. In the Middle East, stock markets there were mixed in narrow ranges at intraday as investors lacked fresh news to move funds aggressively. The Saudi index was flat after 45 minutes. However, at intraday, the index traded low 0.32%. Shares of telecommunications operator ATHIB, which had been suspended by the capital markets regulator since September 25, tumbled 2.4%. The company on Monday issued a statement saying it was still waiting for authorities to grant it a unified license, which would enable ATHIB to obtain a loan to build its spectrum and pay its dues to the telecommunications regulator. In Qatar, the index stabilized but stayed near a 5-year low. The index was up 0.02% at intraday. Oil and gas drilling service provider Gulf International Services was one of the worst performers, down 2.8%, but lender Masraf Al Rayan was up 1%. The Dubai index rebounded 0.45% as Air Arabia gained 2.6%. Abu Dhabi was up 0.11%. To Europe now, stocks started the first trading day of the month on a higher footing, but investors shunned Spanish stocks on growing political concerns in the region of Catalonia. For more, let's talk to my colleague in Frankfurt, Ulrich Watz. Good afternoon, Ulrich. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful month. Welcome to the program.
Right.
Now,
thank you very much.
Sure. Spanish stocks, bonds, and banking shares are treading water today as Catalonia independence proponents say a declaration is likely in the current week. How much is this driving the entire European market?
I think it's a topic in all the European markets. Most markets, having said that, are indeed treading water. Similarly to Spain, when you look at the FTSE, it's going up by 0.5%. The SMI, the market barometer for Switzerland, and that's also going up by about 0.5%. But the CAC 40 is flat, and basically the DAX here in Frankfurt is also flat. It made a little excursion at the beginning of trading, the DAX here in Frankfurt, sort of going in the direction of a new record high, and right now it's fallen back. There's only 100 points missing to the new record high. So you see that on the surface, people don't seem to be too worried about the situation in Catalonia. One economist I've heard a statement from said that yes, it's going to dent sentiment. It has the potential to slow economic growth in Spain, but it's been extraordinary anyways, that growth. So for the moment, unless the situation escalates, nobody knows if it will, but unless it does, people at the moment seem to be quite easy about it. It's putting pressure on the euro, and that lower euro, I think, is also a support for stock market prices being where they are.
Now, Ulrich, aside from politics, there are quite a number of economic data coming into the markets today. The UK manufacturing PMI came in at a negative 55.9 reading. What's the rest of the Eurozone PMI picture looking like, and what's in the numbers for investors?
I think for the investors, the news is all along the line that it's great news. The Eurozone Purchasing Managers Index was at a 6.5-year high. Jobs are at record levels. There are new orders coming in. industry is expanding, and with individual countries, let's say Britain put aside, but Germany, for example, expanding at a very good level. This is excellent news. It's hitting a market which is in many ways in a stable condition, but with Catalonia holding it back just a little bit. I think on any other day this news would have had the potential to create larger share price rises, because it just gives you so much, let's say, perspective going forward for company profits.
And finally, outside Europe, the U.S. President Donald Trump is ramping up his search for a new federal chairman. What do you think would or should inform President Trump's choice, and why?
I really don't know what will or would inform his decision on picking a new chairman of the Fed, a successor to Janet Yellen. I think what one should agree to is that the person who gets the job, man or woman, should have had some sort of background in central banking, either by having worked directly with a central bank, at least for a time, or by being an academic who's devoted his research and his teaching to that field. I think also important is that whoever is selected also bring with him or her some experience in government, that is, having worked at the White House, for example, in the Economic Council team, or at the Treasury, because when you're in the Fed, you're not responsible for government policy, but I think one has to know how it functions, who to contact, who plays what roles, what the roles are. That's very important. And I think looking at Mr. Trump's decision on the cabinet, there are quite some polarizing figures there, some with extreme opinions on political, social, or economic side. I think with the Fed, you can't have that. The U.S. central bank policy must be relatively mainstream in terms of central bank policy, because you can't afford to be isolated in that world. That would be not only bad for the United States, but I think for the economic cooperation on this high level of the central bankers around the world.
Well, we'll wait and see who he eventually chooses as the first chairman. Well, thank you very much for your time, Ulrich. Enjoy the rest of the day.